Yeah. So
let's see how this goes.
fuck
So the
that.
first little bit, I'm going to be looking away.
Yeah, that's
So
all right.
YouTube looks
That's
like it's
cool.
gone.
Gone where?
Looks like it. YouTube's gone live. So we're live on
Oh,
YouTube.
happy days. Oh, sweet.
Let me just make
Yay.
sure.
Elite
I love
Thinking
that. Yeah, so we're
Club.
live on YouTube. Happy days. Mm. Is it the same on the Facebook now as well?
Not yet.
That's all right. Don't worry about the Facebook one too much. To be brutally honest, I don't think that many people pay attention. They get notified. They're not really paying attention. Do you get what I mean?
Well, my
So,
cousin
as long as
watches
we're
it on Facebook. Yeah, on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Let's watch it on
Well,
there
as
as
long as we're
well.
Oh, it's connecting. Hang on,
yeah.
it's connecting.
Oh,
now.
okay. I'll make sure. Right, and then make it go. So as long as we're live on the YouTube,
We are
All I need
live
now
on
is the
Facebook.
title. Hang on. Just need
I'm
the
live on
title it,
TikTok
and
right now as well, so it's all good. Oh, happy days. Let's
just
smash it out.
Yeah, I just got to pick a title for it, which I can't see at the moment.
Thinking out loud, Michael.
No, I'm
Thinking out
trying to
loud.
find where I type it. I forgot where I type it.
Hello, Miss Nikki. I see you
Oh, isn't it further up?
configuring Elite Thinking Club. You could either watch me live here on TikTok or head over to the YouTube and check us out now. We're live on the YouTube channel and also on the Facebook as
And
well.
Facebook in about 5 seconds.
In about 5 seconds. Nice, Michael. So welcome everyone everywhere to... Yeah, I'm going live, Michael. Doing it now. All good?
Let's go live now.
We're live, yeah?
Video starting.
Sweet. Happy day. So,
right.
So she got paid $5,000 to meet him. She got paid $5,000 to meet him in an alley and kick him in the nuts, then spit in his face and then kick him while he was down.
Yeah,
and here's me worrying about my electricity bill.
This is not me.
I'm worrying about my electricity bill. Gas prices, like petrol prices, and then there's people out there paying people $5,000 to kick them in the nuts and spit in their face. I don't believe that shit, man.
Just to say, I would do that because I think that not only is that some form of therapy, but I think that's also a very good work ethic and value for money. So yeah, I'm just putting it out there.
You know what? I swear to God, right? I'm gonna say something right now. You know that
big block high heels to do it.
Right, so you know when people talk about the wage gap in difference in jobs, women are getting paid $5,000 to kick blokes in the nuts and spit in their face, sell farts in jars, piss in jars, OnlyFans. You get what I'm saying, right? They are making they're making so much dough, and they still want to holler about a wage gap. What the fuck you want about? If it was as easy for us,
well,
we'd be
not
like
everybody wants to really do that.
No, but it is easy. It's easy to do it though, and also.
What are you okay? I feel like it is so much easier for a woman to make dough than it is for a bloke. For example, I feel like I'll take off my top. Women ain't gonna be paying, because if a woman took off her top, men. What I mean, even like your foot fetish guys, girls making so much money. Anyway, forget all that. Welcome to the Elite Thinking Club, everyone everywhere. I'm Jules, Julien. I'm joined tonight by Michael and Liz. How you doing, guys? You good?
Yeah, very good. Very good. Now we've got this
right. So
this streaming stuff sorted out.
Excellent. Top our game. So we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and I'm live on TikTok right now doing the Elite Thinking Club live episodes. And this is what we're about here at the Elite Thinking Club. We're about crypto. We explore literally everything because you cannot change anything unless you're willing to understand it. And you cannot understand it unless you're willing to explore it. Good debates don't get ugly. We may talk of things that make people feel vulnerable. Beliefs held sacred may be challenged because of life experiences, but we're not trying to make people wrong or riot, but simply explore. So welcome to the Elite Thinking Club. And if you haven't done so already, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, follow us, tune in for more episodes because we go in on this show. Right. So
and we're doing good as well. We're doing good. We've got 300.
How good we doing, Michael?
We've got 312 followers now on the old YouTubes.
Happy days, 312 subscribers. And wait, am I right in thinking
how many is it till you have your tattoo?
500. I get my
tattoo. We're not far. Come on. Come on.
So yeah, we're just having open discussions and debates about things like, for example, I believe that the wage gap is a myth. I'm just highlighting this, and I'm okay I'll admit I'm wrong, but you know the wage gap thing with genders in workplaces, right? My theory is this: if the wage gap does exist, wouldn't it make sense for companies to only employ women because they're cheaper?
Yeah, well, the thing they do to get this wage gap number is they look at the difference men and women earn, but that's like of total, not of actual job. Because a lot of people want equal outcome, which you shouldn't have equal outcome. You should have equal opportunity. Because if us three go up for a job and Liz isn't qualified for it, why should she get the same chance as what we should if she's not qualified? And also, everyone knows that song, Who Runs the World, Girls. Well, if they run the world, why don't they pay themselves more money?
You know what? So debate. So we're just throwing it out there. If you're watching now and you're tuning in, right, to either the Facebook, YouTube, or on TikTok Live, the debate right now is the wage gap. Yeah, if the wage gap exists, which I personally I don't even see this in workplaces, right? But obviously, I'm not a fan. I wouldn't, I suppose. But if it does exist, wouldn't it make sense for companies to just employ women because they're cheaper to pay to do the work? Surely. I'd love to know what you guys think. Put it in the comments. Let us know what you think. I got a comment from Curly Girl. Says women may have babies and have maternity pay, so they can't guarantee they'll be in employment. Right. So what you're saying is, right? What you're saying is
because the women will take the time off as opposed
because I thought that too. So men get as much maternity pay as women.
Yeah, they also do more overtime. They also do more overtime, more outside work, because when this is taken, they take everything into account. They don't take by job, but I've seen Jordan Patson, I think his name is. He talks about this all the time. Nobody is saying about how there isn't 50% bricklayers. There's no one that wants more females bricklaying. The only thing they want is more power.
Okay, so Curly Girl Savvy says, they may leave for a long period or be off if the child is sick, which is true. Debate, the wage gap in companies. If the wage gap exists, which personally I believe, why won't companies just employ women? Because they'd save the... Guys, if you're watching me on TikTok right now and you want to see Michael and Liz, head over to our YouTube channel. So click the link in my bio, find us Elite Thinking Club on the YouTube channel. Subscribe button if you haven't done so already as well. Listen to Michael, listen to Liz. So that if the wage gap thing is a real thing, is it actually wage gap or is it just jobs? Because put it this way, I thought this too, Michael. I agree with you. It isn't that they're not being offered to do the same job. It's just whether or not they choose to do it, right? Because I actually don't see many women. I don't see many women. Trades people, to be fair, because it's tradesmen, isn't it?
I'm sure there are some out there who and that do go into that work, but I also think that is kind of a society thing. I think that goes way back where it was kind of, when it was more industrial and it was brought in, it was more of it was expected of men to do heavier and more laborious work, I suppose. But you get some some painter and decorators. I know where I live, there's quite a few women painter and decorator companies. Which is niche, good,
just women only.
But growing up, painters and decorators were always men when I was growing up. I never ever knew of a woman painter and decorator. So I think it is like you say, it is I
just want to highlight so all places that I've worked, so for me, right, I was a British soldier in the army. Now I was an infantier, so we were to be infantry, right? Just saying, because it does actually fuck with the mindset of blokes in the infantry. Plus, women are not as effective as soldiers in the infantry as blokes. And that's not anything personal. It's just as an average, they actually slow the pace of efficiency. I'm just saying, because enough to maintain or withstand the longevity of war, like 6-7 months. It's non-stop. In the army, it was all paid by job role. There was no women get paid less. So if you were whatever in the army, infantry aside, you were still getting paid. Now, my next job, I became a personal trainer and physical training instructor. I wasn't getting paid more for that because I'm a bloke. You know what I mean? Women out there, whatever level or stage in regards to skill set and experience, they were getting paid fair for that. But in actual fact, self-employed, you set your own wages. And now, obviously, a motor cars, there isn't any wage difference, I don't think. In actual fact, some of the roles are better performed by women, especially. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
it's like
so they'd get more commission because they're selling more. So can you then argue it then that because they get paid more, they should be less?
I don't think I've worked in a role where I've had a guy in the same role, if that makes sense, where I would know or question, do you get paid more than myself? So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've come up against that either.
Well, you look at,
but
if you look at the football, you know, like where people say female footballers should be paid the same. The World Cup that got cancelled. Hang on.
That
the World Cup that got cancelled. The females, although the men got more bonuses, so you can see it. Although they got more bonuses, they never got paid if they didn't play. Whereas the females, their contract said that they get paid whatever. But they didn't want to change it. They didn't want to change it. Like when this COVID happened and no games were played, the men didn't get paid for it, whereas the women did. But they never wanted to change it. But they never wanted to change it on that side. They just wanted the bonuses side. So there was a whole year that the male team did not get a penny. The women's team got all their wage, but they still want that bit and the bonuses.
So they weren't rooting for the blokes when that went down. They were only that's what I'm talking about. That whole bias towards the inequality.
But hold on. Don't the females get paid tremendously a lot less than what the male footballers get paid?
Yeah, that's because of their contract. That's the contract they agreed to.
Because not being funny, just play devil's advocate here, okay? So the year off that the footballers weren't getting paid, some of these footballers were getting ridiculous amounts of money a week. I mean, you know, millions a week, hundreds of thousands a week. So if they don't get paid for a year, probably 1 week's wages could be enough for them to survive for a year off, okay? Whereas female footballers who get such a small wage probably wouldn't be able to survive if they didn't get that.
If you get £10,000 or £1,000 a week for doing nothing, and the other guys can be on £1 billion if they play, but if they don't play, it doesn't matter how much you get meant to be get paid, you're not playing, so you're not getting paid.
Yeah,
my phone is just overheated. So
I'm only on about World Cup. I'm only on about the World Cup because normal football, male footballers get paid more because people want to watch the male football. They don't want to watch female football.
But isn't that because that's all we've ever had?
No, listen, do you remember UFC? A good example of sports and how people get paid in respect to how good they are. Ronda Rousey was the highest paid UFC fighter one time in a year. Yeah, she's female and she absolutely dominated the sport because see her. And she even openly admitted in this game, if people aren't interested, you won't get paid. So you can't say it's gender. It's simply whether or not people want to pay to see you. And people wanted to pay to see her. This is the thing. Female footballers, don't get me wrong, you're awesome, but no one wants to pay to watch you play. What it is, and the reason for that, respectful, but just the level of skill. 11-a-side male team, all-stars, against 11-a-side female team, all-stars, they would still get absolutely smashed, dominated. And it was their shit. It's just simply because they are outskilled and outplayed. However, if that actually was to go down, I think people might pay to see that. Do it. If the females.
Well, we're already kind of
there was a
like,
team,
look at the swimming.
what team was it? Well, there was a team. I forgot what team. I think it was the Australian football team. Yeah?
Well,
they're ranked at like 20 of females. Yeah, they played high school kids, and they beat them. Like the high school kids beat the female professional team.
Wow.
Pissed. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, no, we saw it. We saw it this week. I'm sorry.
And they said like so there was went on the news, yeah. So these ladies said women should be paid the same in football, and they said, well, they can't. And then they said to the females, right, who have blah 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 got to play next? And they went, we don't know. Look, how can you argue they should be paid the same if you don't know who's women's playing?
Yeah, I get that.
If nobody's watching them, there's no money. The only way to pay them the same amount would be
it always comes down to money, doesn't it?
And give it to the women.
All right,
the only way you can do it. Take it from the men.
That's the thing about like, say for example as well, like fans and women who have subscription paid professions, because men pay more to watch women do stuff. You know, it is what it is. So you don't hear many men complaining though. Like, hey, I may have highlighted upset about it that, you know, women can literally get paid for just being women. Do you get what I mean? And then they still have the audacity to complain about the wage gap in certain job roles. And I'm like, fucking hell, like you probably highlight a lot of what you don't have, but never really highlight what you do have. Call highlighted earlier. What's his name? Peterson. What's his name, Michael?
Yeah, Jordan Peterson. I think.
Peterson, yeah. Like renowned speaker. He said something that really struck home with me. One woman was interviewing him and she tried to highlight to him the dominance of men, like the patriarchy. And he said, listen, let's just close this down right now. You are literally using a small number of men who earn a capacity greater than most men, and you're trying to blanket it on all men. But let's just take a look at where the dominance is throughout our existence. How many men compared to women are in prison? Prisons are filled with 80% more men than women. Okay, then we look at the of war throughout history. How many men have died at war in compared to women? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like 99. Okay. And then it's also like, how many women or how many men actually win custody over their children when divorce goes ahead or even keeps their house? 90% of women win that. Right. And then it's also how many women academically defeat men academically on paper in exams at ages of child, young adolescent to young adult. Women substantially 80% absolutely dominate men in that area. So it isn't like there's inequality here. You need to figure out where actual dominance is. You're actually smashing it. The system's actually rigged because you're smashing it. It ain't even like men are complaining that. We don't complain that. We just get on with it. But as soon as there's a little bit of like, I don't know, patriarchy talk or some bullshit, it's like, no, it isn't fair. Tell us exactly where the unfairness is.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the voting thing. Like, he's, I think he said this as well, the voting thing. So they argue,
I mean, I might get cut out.
Like, they argue the fact that they argue for the right to vote.
I'm listening, Michael.
He's such a professional, isn't he?
He is. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. So they reckon they argue for the right to vote, which in actual fact, we had to change the rules for women to vote because men only got the right to vote because they could be called up for the army and be called up for the fire service. which we had to do away with those because
Yeah.
ladies did not want to join the army or join the fire service. So that was men's right to vote, because the other side of that is we get called up for a war and we're called up for a fire service. Whereas ladies got it without those things. And it was men that gave it to them. Like, if you look through the history, it was men that actually went, you know what? We're sick of this. We're going to do it. A lot of women didn't want it because they didn't want to go to war. So just like the fitness test in the army, we had to change it so that they could do it. Anyway, that's my rant over about that bit.
I was waiting for you to say that. I was making it all out.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, well,
it's
I
another,
mean, to be honest with you,
never
I
ending
don't really believe in the whole voting thing. You know my thoughts on that. I think it's all
yeah, I mean, it is
rigged anyway.
You've only got dickheads.
I mean, whether I'm not going to kick off for not being able to. However, I do believe that it should be equal, you know, regardless of sex, gender, whatever. It should be equal. Also, I think that, you know, if people fight for equality and people want it, then if they get to vote like men did, then they should be expected to be treated the same way men were. So the expectation
Yeah.
equal. And I think that,
So
you know, it's like you can't fight and ask for one thing, but then lay down, oh, actually, we want this, because then it's not equal.
No.
So
I want,
you know,
I want equal
be...
rights across the board.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Whereas football,
So...
the difference with football is they don't bring it. Like, if me and you start a company, and you're earning £1,000 a week, and I'm only earning £100 a week, I can't then go, well, because you're earning more, you should give me some. That's not how it works. Like, male football brings in, say, £100 billion a year or something. Women's football brings in,
so of course they get paid more.
Yeah, so
I get that. I get that.
Happens.
Yeah, but do you think
if females
think the women's coverage and pushed as much as the men's has over the years?
If it was going to make money, guaranteed, people would push it. Because if there's money to be made, it
comes down to money, doesn't it? It comes down to money, effectively.
Yeah, if there's money to be made, trust me, like say Sky, if money can make money, if Sky can make money on it, they will. They're not going to turn away money, but
no,
there's not anyone for it.
But do you think, because of how the world is going, and with the whole like gender equality and stuff like that, do you end up pushing it because they feel they have to?
Yeah, like they've allowed,
like, being forced almost to kind of yeah.
But the only way to do that is to take the money from the male side to fund the female side.
All right.
Yeah.
Hello.
He's back. Hey.
I'm back. Hey, hopefully that don't happen again. Yeah, no, for real. So what it is, I'll tell you a story. I left my phone charger at my sister's house, and so I had to use like the wire from my car. So it's now plugged into my laptop, and I'm realizing my laptop ain't pumping out enough electricity to keep up with the phone. So
that's why you should have many wires on standby.
Yeah, for real.
I probably got 8 wires up the stairs in my games room alone.
What zapped it? I'll tell you what it was, because I was live on TikTok. So if I have to go live on TikTok again, I will have to actually like proper put my phone on charge. 100%.
I was watching it.
Oh, was I? Is it? Love it, Michael. Love it.
Yeah.
They look all right.
But you've taken me off. Oh no, it's on there. It won't show. I was a moderator.
It just conked out though, right? It wasn't like...
Yeah, so it just stopped.
Yeah, I love it. This is my home comfort. This one. This is like, oh, it's the best.
I answer people for you.
It's comfortable. I think it's made of hemp. Like hemp. The plant. Like, yeah, for real. but you know.
So
But anyway, are we still talking about the gender inequality, wage gap, or
yeah, we
No,
were.
no,
So
we're talking about the football thing again.
we were talking about the football, and going off of the football, like I feel you've probably seen the story with regards to the Thomas identifies as female and
right?
was obviously once identified as or was biologically male and ranked like 400 and something in the male sport, but has just become number one in the female sport. And I on one of our other podcast episodes before, didn't we? We spoke about this and how a lot of people feel like there should be a category for trans, and even the likes of Caitlyn Jenner, who's obviously a trans female and ex-sports person or ex-sportsman, has even out and said that it should be a category because it's not fair for women. Like the girl that came second effectively actually won it. Let's be honest, like because
she's biologically female.
Swimming exactly, and it's really hard because I kind of try and see it from all sides, but I feel for the guy, well, the trans, you know, that identifies as a female, because he must feel really uncomfortable going into that, knowing, and all the media coverage that and all the things that people are saying now, they can't escape it. So he's going to hear some of it, or she's going to hear some of it. The girl that actually came second, that would have been first had Leah Thomas not been in it, went on to Twitter today and actually, you know, put her piece across and said that she basically felt taken from her, and that it was unfair, and her account was suspended for putting it.
Wow.
And also
Twitter,
lots of the opponents in the sport from that event have said they felt deeply uncomfortable within the changing rooms because her male genitals you know, like on show.
Dong.
And the female swimmers didn't feel comfortable with it, and I just think that we cross. Are we now going to completely shun the feelings of those in the changing rooms? Because in any other context, if a man went into that female changing room doing that, there'd be a big hoo-ha about it. There'd be outrage.
Yeah, he would get.
Yeah. So now, what point? At what point do we actually say, let's do your own category? Because we are allowing biologically better people going into, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't understand it. The fact that females have argued for their right to be equal, and then they're allowing men to then join their sport and smash them.
Yeah, but this is the point. The other swimmers weren't.
I see a while ago.
They didn't want that to happen.
I see a while ago.
Obviously,
the lady that was training. Yeah, some lady was training for years and years and years to be a runner, and then a guy that was like 400th place or something, then joined the sport and beat her. So and I said this before, like if I want a medal, I can just go, oh fuck it, I'll be a woman and do female sport instead.
I understand what you're saying totally. It's like it's just crazy. I truly believe it's crazy. Like how is it in any sense for someone just to identify as something be accepted as it? It's madness. That's like a zebra identifying as a lion, or a lion identifying as a zebra, and then trying to for zebras. Doesn't make it don't make sense. We obviously understand that logic, but why the hell? What kind of world are we living in, man? This is madness.
Exactly.
Absolute madness.
Like
Jules,
Jules, if you wanted to be If you wanted to identify as a female out of sport, then I would be happy. I'd call you whatever you want to be called. But as soon as you try and beat a real female at a game that she should be,
Yeah. You got to draw the line somewhere. Yeah.
But
Now, I'll tell you something else here. Sports that don't involve physical attributes, i.e., hormones and testosterone and muscle mass and bone structure and all that good stuff. Yeah, that each sex has a advantage in different areas.
Like chess.
Or golf. Then
golf.
Yeah.
That does take a little bit more advantage of power, because then you can hit it further up the thing, but less so.
The fairway, isn't it? Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so like say chess, things like that. That's all mind.
Wow. Hey, we really want to know what you guys think on this. So don't be afraid. Let us know what you feel like. It's the Elite Thinking Club, right? We want to know what you think on the subject.
Even if you totally disagree with us, tell us we're talking shit.
I just think that fair and equal to all. There should be a category for trans. There should be a category for those who identify as women and those who identify as men. And that way they will be competing against, basically in their own, against those who are biologically the same as them. Won't they?
Yeah.
That to me is fair.
Yeah,
I just don't think I would never go, oh, okay, I'm going to identify as a man and I'm going to join your sport, because you'll beat me. What's the point in me doing?
Liz, you thing is, like, if you wanted to identify as a man and join me in the changing rooms, I'm not gonna complain. All right, I'm not gonna complain. But I do get where they were coming from when they were saying that they felt uncomfortable. Totally get it.
I ain't waving my balls about.
Right. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and follow us for more. We really appreciate it, because it's helping. We're at 313 subscribers now. We were wherever we're at now, we've come a long way. So we really appreciate you guys. And if you haven't done so already as well, check out some of the other stuff we're doing, some of the other awesome stuff we're doing. Follow us on the Instagram and Twitter as well. We are now on Twitter, so if you want to send us a tweet, you may. Like, of course, we're happy to hear from you.
Taken over the world.
Slowly,
one
but
episode
surely.
at a time.
Progress is the key.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't feel what to talk about tonight, right? So I remember watching a film, The Matrix, and there is a character called Cypher. Now, the reason why this is highlighted to me is simply because the more woke you get in life, so the more stages. So I don't believe in age. You know that. I don't believe in age. I believe in stage. So the more stages you evolve to in life, and the more you awaken from the matrix, if you will, like the system and the structure and the BS, the bullshit, basically, the more you do start to question it, the more you do start to think in your head, like, this can't be real. This can't be right. This doesn't seem fair. There is always an underlying feeling that it things up. And a character in the Matrix called Cypher, he's sitting at the computer and he's watching the Matrix, and Neo approaches him and startles him a little bit. And his famous line is, I know what you're thinking, because I've been thinking it since I got here. Why didn't I take the blue pill? And it does make me think, like, ignorance is bliss. When you're in the Matrix, you aren't aware you're in the Matrix. So you're just getting on with it, and you're quite happy with your hypnotized brain, or your, sedated brain, or your numbness. Whereas when you're awake and alert and observant of the world you live around, you see things that you can't unsee, like the pedo rings, ruling elites, flipping crop cycles, like, Illuminati, some might say, or chemtrails, all these things, and then you think, and it's like, fuck. What it brought me onto was, honestly, guys, what it brought me on, I have started to create a sense of relationships and understanding. I can relate to the villains of films now more than the heroes half the time. I'm rewatching old 100%. Films and I'm thinking, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. Yeah. Like I watch old films and I actually get it. I actually feel for the the villains now more than like I'm not really rooting for the hero. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds crazy, man. What do you guys think? Like,
I mean, certain films. Like, I mean, I've got 3 of them, so I'm going to go through them and tell me which one you want me to talk about. So, Bruce Wayne, Hook, or Karate Kid.
Oh,
Which one do you want me to elaborate on?
I like Hook.
For me,
Captain Hook. Sorry, Liz. Yeah.
So,
Liz, what are you saying?
With Hook. Go with Hook. I was just going to say that for me, me realise there's always a reason behind the villain. That it's, you know.
Yeah, well said. There's always, you know, when Disney. Sorry, Michael, but we'll get back to your 3. We'll do your 3. But you know when like Disney now are doing like that sort of film Maleficent, the what she was portrayed as
Sleeping
like
Beauty,
the Wicked Witch of Sleeping Beauty in that, and then but no one really knows her story. You know what I'm saying? But I like how Disney they've made a film about it. You actually get it. You're like, oh, okay, that's why she's the way she is and whatnot. But yeah, like I feel like I relate more now, like because I've got to the point. I'll be honest, and Michael, I swear to you, we will do yours. Yeah, I feel like sometimes like I just want to be the villain because I feel like I've tried so hard to be good that I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. You know what I mean? Fuck the world. Fuck everyone else. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. Do you get what I mean? Like, I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds bad. I don't want to sound like I'm not like that. That's not. I'm
bad like version of Batman and Robin, Jules.
Yeah. But it's as long as I'm Batman, do you know what I mean? Careful there, Liz.
Oh yeah, obviously. But, I'll be Robin.
But you know what? But when you talk about, you know, like Mr. Freeze. Have you seen Mr. Freeze? Like, is Mr. Freeze? I get it. I actually get it. Right. So if you watch that one, it's a bit of a cheesy one, to be fair. But when you watch that one, you see what happens. You do kind of get it. Like, you think, okay, good example of a villain. Yeah. And Michael, I swear we're getting back to it. We will do Black Panther. Yeah. So Black Panther in the Marvel comics and like the big franchise movies, obviously King T'Challa, birthright, becomes prince, but he becomes king to the throne by his cousin, who is his name's something Munger. I don't know, Warmonger or something. Eric something. Anyway, he turns up and he just says, you know, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Like, I've grafted streets of like Brooklyn or Harlem, wherever he grew up in New York, and he fought his way to claim his birthright, and he's not having it. He's like, I'm not having it. Like, I will challenge you to a fight. I'll beat you, and now I'm king. It's fair. Do you get what I mean? It's flipping fair. But the film kind of, it makes him look like the bad guy. Do you know? Michael, what are you saying?
Well, I want to say a quote first. Well, the quote is, if you think about it, you are the villain in someone's story. So someone that you've met in your life, you're pissed off. So you, no matter how good you are the villain. Absolutely. We all are. It's weird to think.
And if you're not, you've not stood for nothing.
You are the bad guy.
That's, you know, perfectly said, Michael, because imagine, okay, so like Mufasa and Scar.
Yeah.
To Scar, Mufasa, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because yeah. I mean, it's got to be
here's another. Like, yeah, if you're not a conspiracy for you, if you were a conspiracy, yeah, apparently Scar ate Mufasa.
They probably did.
If you wanna Google that, yeah, come back to us at Elite Thinking Club. Comment after you've Googled what I just said. Like, did Scar eat Mufasa? So just so you know, lions actually eat other lions. Okay, that's a fact, right? And in Disney, they even drew the animation of Scar holding a skull of another lion. So just check it out. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, go on, Michael.
And also, when he took
How
over,
do
the
you know all
hyenas
of
took
it?
over as well, didn't they? So they wouldn't have left. They wouldn't have left his body there. They wouldn't have left it to waste.
No, they wouldn't
No.
have left it to waste. Of
They
course
would
not.
have
And also
ravaged it.
in the wild, any cub would have been killed by the new king. So, so that girl, well, no, the girl in it, I forgot her name. She would have been
Nala.
killed as well because she was a cub. Yeah, she was a cub. From,
Wow. But she's a female. Surely she.
well, from what I've seen, all the, I mean, I may be wrong, but all the cubs from other lineage
Yeah.
are killed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's only Hook. So the idea is that Hook is actually trying to kill Peter Pan because he is kidnapping kids. Because if you think about it, when he met Wendy, he flew to her house and basically kidnapped her and it took her to Neverland. So he's trying to kill Peter Pan so that the rest of the Lost Boys can be released and actually grow up. So Peter Pan is actually a kidnapper.
I always found
Yeah, 'cause Peter Pan doesn't
really
grow up.
creepy.
No, none of them kids grow up.
No, and I always found it really creepy because I kind of felt like there was a hidden message in it, and I felt like he was taking them, like you say, he was a kidnapper, and the reason that they never grew up was because he took them and their life like stopped as a child, unable to grow up. So like he stopped their childhood, he killed their childhood because he took them and that was the end of them. So growing up, whenever I used to watch that, it always used to make me feel uncomfortable. I always used to think, why is he going in and taking these children? It just was a little bit too creepy for me.
Yeah, if that was someone else.
Saw that growing up. I never saw that growing up. Like I just thought like, you know, in Peter Pan, it's a classic story of a battle. Then back to what we mentioned before. What's his name again? Peterson, Jeffrey something. Is it Jordan Peterson? Yes, I actually watched this guy on YouTube. I quite like this guy, and yeah, he mentioned before about the Pan being a metaphor, in a sense that Peter Pan represents men, young men, when all we're really interested in brotherhood, like with our bros, and the flirtatious side of life. So Peter Pan flirts with Tiger Lily. He's also got Tinker, all the mermaids, and he just loves it because he's living that life of loads of women, and he doesn't want to grow up because he sees Captain Hook as a visual of what growing up is, and that's pissed off and angry and like running out of time,
unhappy,
unhappy. Yeah. So Peter, but the thing that Peter Pan doesn't also see is that and all men, he doesn't represent men. However, Tinkerbell is make believe, right? I'm saying something like Tinkerbell represents like men's fantasies and fetishes of like a porno world, like a pornographic expectation of life. And the mermaids, they're not even real women. Don't get me wrong, they'll make you feel good, but they're not real women. And obviously Tiger Lily is a chief's daughter. Like, you know, the chief won't just see his daughter grow up. So even though she's enjoying Peter Pan for being way, she will grow up, Tiger Lily. Do you get what I mean? But Peter won't. So there's no point even doing it. And what Jordan Peterson was saying was, yeah, Peter Pan is guys staying mindset wise. That all those metaphors are real. Tinkerbell got extremely jealous of Wendy, constantly trying to show Peter a better way. She was trying to show him, I am a mother type. Hence why I read the boy's story. I will care for you. Hence why I'm willing, Peter, to if you let's grow up together. But Peter refused. He said, no, I'm not. What was explaining, there are so many girls who are ready to go the next step with their guys. But if their guys are still in a Peter Pan, impossible, can't be done. You have to give up Tinkerbell. You have to give up all the
that reference.
Be serious, and it's mad. It's crazy.
I have heard that reference to guys throughout my life, where people have said, you know, my friends have dated guys and they've said, oh, he gets called Peter Pan by his friends, or he gets called Peter Pan by his parents, you know. Yeah, makes sense.
Not easy though. It's not easy because don't get me wrong. I mentioned earlier in the episode about how the system's a little bit rigged for a bloke to be a bloke. Sometimes it's actually quite like, nah, fuck it. Why not? Why?
It's a lot of expectations and pressures.
Seriously, why would I give my life
on men?
Yeah, for no guaranteed outcome. That's why a lot of blokes won't get married. And again, that's already you should like and follow, subscribe button by now. Come on, if you've watched the episode, so you got to be thinking club. Yeah, another debate in regard blokes will not propose anymore. Like, we want to be married anymore because we see it as a very, very risky thing to do. If it does fall through, we are basically effing ourselves over. We're putting ourselves in a very vulnerable. What do you think of that, guys?
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely something to think of. Like, we're not, definitely as men, we're not guaranteed to win. So, because normally when men and women break up, it's normally the guy that leaves the house and has to start again. So it's a lot of money to put down. It's also normally the male that pays for the wedding. It's also normally the male that pays for the beginning part, like the ring, because it's normally the man proposing to the woman. So even at the start, it's the male paying for something. Yeah. So I mean, I was in a good place with mine because my ex-wife paid for my wedding and she also paid for my divorce. But we ended quite friends, so there weren't really much to do. It's just a shame that we had to pay money to lawyers.
Yeah, exactly. Either like, you got to pay a lot of money just to have a matrimony. And
that's the system. Welcome
on
to
paper,
the system.
certificate.
Welcome to a money making. They will make money from you in whichever.
Yeah, when you get
you
married,
want to get married
divorced,
and have a happy.
Anything in between.
We're gonna tax you on that. We're gonna decide to change your mind. You're gonna have to pay 500 quid just to put an application in. Yeah. To the government.
Exactly.
Having said that,
Fuck that. That's
if Danny ever watches this,
yeah. I know there's a lot of peer pressure on people to live up to the expectations of their parents, right? So it's just to keep their parents happy. They don't actually want to do it. They're just doing it. And that's why I feel like a lot of younger generations now are literally just like, that doesn't make sense at all. But they are missing the values behind it. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's very important. Yeah. But imagine you give your all to someone to the point where you are willing to, like, you know, go all out, go all in, and you I really hope it works out for all of them. Like, no one goes into anything with bad intentions. You know what I mean? But I just feel like from the stats, it is such a risky thing to do now these days. And women complaining like, you know, blokes ain't shit no more. It's like, you're half the woman that your grandma
I think the times have changed, though.
I'm not being rude.
Yeah, the times have changed. I think, you know, it was more meaningful years ago. It was more, there was less accessible temptations. There was less, you know, people were content and happy. They were more happy to settle. Now there's like such high expectations. And like, don't get me wrong, it is good to have high standards and it is good to know your self-worth. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And I think that's actually a healthy trait to have, because you stop yourself from getting in toxic situations. But I think that the expectations and people's, you know, aspirations, dreams, I think that the gets kind of diluted in all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
values. I'll tell you one
I
thing.
think we've
It's
lost
a lot
our
less
way. We've
traditional
definitely lost our
nowadays.
way in humanity. We have
Yeah.
lost our way.
I don't think we've lost our way. I agree with that. That's what I was trying to say.
I agree.
I don't believe in that lost our way shit, because I feel like we're finding our actual way, like a new way. A system, like, and then be like, yeah, this is the way you got to do it. And it's just like, surely there's other ways. There's got to be alternatives. No. This is the only way. For what? The only way for what? Well, the only way for you to get by a system that's rigged. Well, I'd rather not do it then. How about that? Do you know what I mean? Why would I choose to do it?
We've lost
Choose to do it.
lost our way. I think that there's a lot that we have in our lives now that takes away certain things that were more simple and more easy. I agree with you in respect of, we shouldn't have always followed tradition and been conditioned to, you will grow up, you will do this, you do that the way we did it, because that's the way it should be done. I think we're all blank canvases. We should be doing and past and do. Yes, there should be a new way, Jules, a healthier way, a more meaningful and healthier and deeper way. Where I say we've lost our way, I think when it comes to like connections and stuff, I think that we've lost our way a little bit. Our fast-paced, definitely.
Yeah. Tradition is like
you should settle. I don't believe you
people.
should settle. Yeah, you shouldn't settle. And I also think that a lot of people, I know there are a lot of people that are in relationships or marriages, and truth be known, offered to have it and change it, they would, but because they feel tied into a house, family, children, oh, what will the in-laws think of me? Oh, I don't want to rock the boat. There's a lot of that goes on. And I think that's very sad. One life. And a lot of people get to like their 60s and they're like, oh yeah, we got divorced. Like, you know, the kids were grown up and we were just,
I only stayed
there was
married.
no point. And I think that is so sad. It is so sad. You've literally youth and the best life, or the more energetic years of your life, I suppose, all for what society, what your neighbours think, what I don't want my children growing up with, you know, from a broken family. And that whole, it's a negative. Whereas actually I know a lot of people that co-parent and it's a positive. They have better
them situationships.
Yeah.
The ones that just stay in it for the sake of the house and the kids and the whatnot. Yeah, it's such a situation you can't escape from. It's not as simple as just as simple as turning the switch off. Like, it's so much more deeper than that. And I get that. But the thing is, I suppose they do find their happinesses that they can have. Like, there's no point sitting there all sad about it.
It's the comfort. It's the comfort zone
it.
and the contentment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it really was that,
when I was getting married,
I think.
When I was getting married, I asked my soon-to-be wife, now ex-wife, for a prenup. Just because she was starting out in accountancy, and I didn't want her to not like I didn't want to one day her to go, oh, I don't necessarily want to be with him, but if I divorce him, he'll take half my stuff.
Wow, yeah.
So I wanted a prenup just so we never stayed together because of money.
Good.
Yeah.
Good idea. And I get it. Yeah. Some people do them.
It turned out that we didn't have to worry about it.
But I get why some people do them, because also if people are okay with those, it shows you that they are in it for the love and not the money.
Yeah. A quick question. The comments. So we got any comments? Like, obviously, I've lost mine.
Well, we got one. We got one on YouTube saying, from Jay saying, "Are you the baddies?" And I just put,
yeah,
maybe.
Definitely,
we are, Jay.
I will happily be. I will happily be girl 4.
Here's the fun. I can't even call them baddies anymore. Like, I don't like that. That
No.
already makes the bad person, and they're not. Like, if you really
They're the
review
other
their
side.
story,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
The unconventionals.
Yes, Michael, the unconventionals. Have you seen Gladiator? Russell Crowe. That is one of my all-time
Yes.
favorite films, right? Simply how man
Same.
being the hero to the underdog,
Mhm.
and then also the lower class in society, and he still wins the people, the mob. You can't,
Mhm.
you cannot, even as an emperor, have power if overrule you. They don't favor you anymore. Which brings me into times. You know, we as the people, we have so much power, and it's just like
We just
we
don't
need
know
to,
we've got it.
yeah, like we need to
It's
critical
so
think,
frustrating.
get ourselves a new yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah, it is frustrating. We need a leader,
It
but they
is,
keep
because a lot
killing
of
all our
people don't
leaders. Have you
realise.
noticed?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realise that the power is with the people. That's why, you know, people, the saying, power to the people. We create their jobs. We give them their jobs. Those wouldn't jobs if we weren't here, if it weren't. So we need to take back our power.
Yeah, so like
And we
when
need
you
to
highlighted
be,
when you highlighted the film Joker, Liz, and at the
Mhm.
end, you know, he's live on a TV show and he just says, "You get what's coming to you," and it kicked off a riot. Do you know what I mean? It was like
Mhm.
people needed that spark. They just needed that person to come on and say, "I represent the masses. You all
Mhm.
facades and BS." Yeah, which actually brings me on to another right now. So the media favor Ukrainian refugees. No shame in saying that I don't care for them any more than I care for the give me £2 a month adverts that I've seen throughout my that I have just ignored over and over and over again. Now, for the media or the social thing to be like, no, we're helping people, you know, we want to pay you to help people. That just takes the piss. I feel so flipping at people, how you can literally ignore poverty and famine all around throughout, and now what
Yeah, because you're getting told who to care about. You're getting told who to care about. They are telling you about this. Well, what about those in Yemen, Syria, Iraq, India? Hello, Africa. What about all of those?
Trust me.
If you're going to care for one, care
Exactly.
for all. Let's be equal here. Like, also, I can't remember anybody I know picture to the veterans, homeless veterans flag. Well, there isn't a flag for that, but let's just say there was. There are hundreds of thousands of people in the UK who are homeless, from teenagers, women, children, veterans. And why aren't we getting offered £350 a week? Why aren't we getting offered?
Yes,
why aren't they getting offered a week to help get them back on their feet? Why are they just ignored? Why do people walk past them?
I'll give you two reasons why.
I know why. Because
you've got to be elite thinking.
It's not popular at the moment.
Yep.
And two, it doesn't hide our vision from something else that they're fucking hiding.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. When they tell you to look over here and care about this, think about what they're hiding over here and what they don't want you to know about. That's the truth of it. Spot on. And I'm sorry, I will not be told who I should and should not care about. I care about humanity as a whole, not just who is trending that week. Drops mic.
I agree. When I remember getting an interview time ago, people were asking me about my experience in Afghanistan. And I said the first time round, I was very led to believe a certain narrative. I was very naive. I was very ignorant. Second time round, I kind of realized they don't shoot, we don't shoot. And it was in that moment that I I was born in Afghanistan, I'd be Taliban. Make no mistake. Now, for me to now be your friend or liked by you, am I not? But if I was to be born in Afghanistan, me, Jules, Julien, would I still be your enemy? Yeah, I don't change as a person, like, as a character. This is who I'm born. Yeah, for real. So, the enemy that you've never seen, never met, yet you have so much negative to them, is bogus. Where did you learn that? Where did you get that? And that's what we're trying to help people snap out of the bullshit. Don't see any refugee any different to any other refugee. And if you don't have enemies, like if you have enemies that you've never met, that you've never seen, never had a conversation with, it's like, why are they your enemy again? Do you get what I mean? Like,
because you've been told they're your enemy. So you've been told to fear them.
6 months ago, 6 months ago, you would have been friends with a Russian. But now, if you're in Ukraine, you've got to shoot a Russian.
Right. It's so crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, guys, if you've got anything you want to say about this, then do write it in the comments. We will see it and we will respond. And if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe. Why? One thing, it's free, okay? And it helps boost up the algorithms. Do us a favor, because the more you do it, the more we do it. You know what I mean? The more episodes we about these things that you want to talk about. Don't pretend like you don't want to talk about them. Everyone wants to talk about them, but maybe you're the ability, ain't got the capacity.
Can I just also say, like, because I've posted a lot of things on my personal social media on Facebook and on Twitter about, you know, obviously a lot about the whole situation we've had the past 2 years, but also with the new narrative, which is the Ukraine-Russia narrative. And I've been trolled. I've got a lot of jip for the things that I, purely because I have stated I'm not war. I don't think I know anybody that would be pro-war, but because I won't do what the media tell me to with regards to saying I stand with Ukraine, I just want to put it out there and just say I'm not pro-war, stand for and with humanity as a whole. Like I just mentioned, I care about the people in Yemen, Syria, Afghanistan, India, all over the world, not just Ukraine, everybody as a whole. Just want to clear that up.
I literally heard it on the radio the other day, like not the other day, it was today. I heard on the radio. So crazy. I was just like, how are these people? I mean, this is what I'm talking about. My moral compass, points morally. So I wouldn't sell out, even if my job needed me in Ukrainian flag, I'd have to disagree. I'd be like, listen, I can't do that, man. If that's part of the job description, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Now, I know that...
I think my boss knows not to even talk to me about it.
Yeah. So I know as well you'd be doing that, but that's for me to see people, because it's the silent people, the worst people, because you actually believe that being silent sets you free from any flipping finger pointing, but that's not true. Because the reality is, if you're not standing for something, you're falling for something. Or if you're not...
Yeah, but also, if you're not standing for something...
You aren't happy about it, you're kind of claiming you are happy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, you're enabling
if you're willing to walk past it, you're willing to accept it, exactly. And that's not really cool, to be fair. For you, to my face, say, you're wrong. Or I stand for this, or I stand for that. Right. Well, I'm not gonna not say anything, and I'm not just not getting involved. It's like that, so you accept it then.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
This is what I really am struggling with, and I've got to the point now in my life where I actually, I've tried to be understanding and I've tried to be empathetic towards people, but I've got to the point where I'm literally allergic to people like that. I'm not joking. I really struggle around like that now, because I'm aware that them staying silent, they're silent because they are actually enabling, allowing, and basically contributing to it without realizing, because they think for an easy life and a quiet life, if they don't say anything or speak up, they're people pleasing. They're silently people pleasing because they're not getting in trouble with anybody. They're not picking up, and they're in their comfort zone still.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
Here's
those
one
are the
for me,
people that
right?
will struggle the most with reality, because when it all goes, woof, they then will have to decide.
This is what smacks
And,
it for me,
you know,
right? I honestly, Liz, I remember when the Black Lives Matter movement happened, right? This highlighted to me the silent people. Now, I honestly said to myself, I'm obviously saying about this. We're obviously high. Stop playing blind to it, stop playing dumb to it, and stop hoping it'll go away. But the thing is, you want to tell people you're my friend. You want to tell people you know me. Tell people that, yeah, we're tight. Yeah, in my moment of I need you to acknowledge what's going on. Yeah, you want to stay silent. You don't even want to stand for me. So what kind of personal connection do you get what I'm saying? And this is what smacked it for me. If you're seriously involved in people who just would not stand for you, yeah, anything for you, you got to ask yourself, what the fuck are you doing? Like, seriously,
I've realized over the last
are you
2
really
years,
valued by these people?
I've realized that over the last 2 years, who would live on me like that, based on the psychological operation that the government have put them under and done on them. I have literally people I never thought would. I have watched them switch like that, and it's been an eye opener, and it's crazy. It's really crazy.
It feels to me like won't say nothing because they're afraid. Clash.
And the judgment.
Is if you're
people
not saying
are
nothing,
scared of what people think and being judged. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Because if you're not saying nothing, you're not representing your people. That's what smacked it for me. I was like, wow, movement's happening, and no one, not one of you is none of you. So if you won't stand for me, why the fuck should I keep standing? It sounds crazy, but it's real, isn't it? It just really hit, it highlighted, it hit home. It hit home so much. And it was like, okay, cool. Well, you know what? Fuck it. You want me to represent you, but you won't represent me. So it's clear you've chosen your side. You're basically one of those silent people. It's like, when we didn't say nothing, you can't act against you. Right. But you weren't for me. I mean, you weren't for me. You weren't making it obvious that you were for me. When it suits you, or when it ain't gonna make you look bad, that ain't good enough for me, I'm afraid. So
that's like I got a lot of judgment, and
you don't get me. You don't get me
for protesting
note,
and standing.
Yeah, go on.
Clive,
Michael, go on,
Clive
brother.
said hello. Clive said hello. Hi, baby.
Hi.
Hello, Clive.
Hey, sexy bum as well. Paul also said hello, Clive. And
was that to you, Michael?
You know what, Paul and Clive, you guys have been here from day. Like, we've been running like over a year now for time. We've been going quite strong for what? I don't know, quite a long time. But anyway, Paul and Clive, you have literally been here from day. Pretty much our top comment. Right? Must top viewers, top commenters.
Oh, well, Clive's my cousin.
Thank you.
The family.
Yeah. Also, as well,
they love it as well. They love chatting.
For real, we do have a Discord channel as well. So beyond the live shows, commenting on the live shows, if you want to join us on our Discord channel just to have a chat, do it, because we're on there. So if you was to comment or chat, we'll respond. Like, we've got it. It's live. It's happening right now. So yeah, click the link in the description, click the link in our bios, and follow to either the YouTube and subscribe, or the let's have a conversation. You know what I mean? Liz, Michael, we're going to wrap up tonight's episode, and I've really have you guys enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, I thought we was going to talk about the villains, but it was it went off on a good sidebar, so that was good.
Couple talked about the villains, Michael. What, do you want to talk about more?
Well, a little bit. Well, Karate Kid.
Go on. Let's finish the episode on that.
You both seen Karate Kid, didn't you?
Do it.
So you both seen Karate Kid?
My view on Karate Kid.
No,
so yeah, I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
So when it first starts out, Danny and that girl in it, I've forgotten the name. all they do at the start is like stare awkwardly at each other. She clearly had no interest in him. And then when the boyfriend turned up, and then they had an argument, which boyfriends and girlfriends can do, they can argue. He inserted himself into the argument, which he shouldn't have done. And then when he got laughed at, he then went to try and fight the guy, which the guy, self-defense, and he didn't even punch him, he just moved to one side. So he, at the start of the film, he starts it. And then if you watch throughout the whole film, it's always Danny that starts the rows. And then he even went to the dojo to try and get better fighting moves to fight him. Which, if that's like me going like, oh, I'm not strong enough to fight you, Jules, so I'm going to go get some UFC
Training,
skills and
yeah.
then come and try again. Yeah, so if you watch it all the way along, it's always him. It's always him that starts stuff. Like at one of the scenes is in the toilet trying to roll a joint, which is the most laid back thing you can do, and he starts on them again.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And then when they go to the dojo, the guy turns around and says, "Right, you can't hurt him anymore," which he takes again onto his thing and takes the piss out of him and all his mates. And then at the end, I mean, I'm going through it quickly now. And then at the end of it, Miyagi actually beats up the guys as well. So it's like, and then at the end of it, Miyagi does some weird voodoo.
He beats up a bunch of kids.
At the end of it, he does some weird voodoo,
get away with
which
that
means
in this day and age.
Yeah, it is some weird voodoo that meant that Danny actually beat the guy that should have won in the first place.
Yeah, that's some magic sorcery. Yeah,
so, I mean, I did it quickly. Yeah. I mean, I went for it quickly, but if you really look at it from, like,
I have heard that.
Because we're taught. Yeah.
Because Danny Zuko, is that his name? What's that? Grease Lightning?
Danny something. Yeah,
because
let me have a look what his name was.
Because the Karate Kid is the main guy, Karate Kid, I suppose you naturally take a bias into following the main character, thinking the main character is
Daniel Lorenzo.
That's it, yeah, Daniel Lorenzo. But the reality is, the Karate Kid is a perfect example of a the mind has always think the main character is the good guy, but he clearly ain't. He's a bad guy. He's bad. That kid's bad.
Yeah.
Wax off
every
bullshit.
time
He's a troublemaker.
Yeah, every time he inserted himself into something he should have done, then he tried to get better skills to then beat him better because he couldn't. Yeah, I mean, if anyone's watching it doesn't agree, then make sure you watch. Go on YouTube and put in is Danny the real bad guy in Karate Kid? And there's a few videos on there that literally go through every single bit where Danny was just.
I'll put a link in the description. Cool. I'll put a link in the description, 100% on that when this episode, is not live on YouTube but saved on YouTube. So, what was the last film you wanted to talk about, Michael?
Oh, it was
done Hook.
Bruce
We've done Karate. So... Yeah, go on. What's Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, Bruce Wayne on the fact that, well, if you think about it, so if me or you went out in the streets now and started fighting crime, then we would be. I mean, Batman is seen as a vigilante, but if me and you did it, we'd be frowned upon. It's only because Batman's got loads of money that they kind of go, actually, we'll let him do it. But
Batman has a vendetta against criminals.
Yeah, but
it's criminal.
He only gets away with it. He only gets away with it because he's got money.
No, he gets away with it.
I've seen in America. I've seen in America people go out wearing like superhero costumes, and they are taking a piss out. Like they're only out there to try and help make the streets safer. I bet if they had loads of money and was driving around in fucking Batmobiles, they'd be like.
Batman gets away with it because he is above the law. whether people accept that or not, he can't be caught by the police. Like, he refuses to be. If the police came for him, he would leave them in a bad state, and they know it's not worth trying. He's got tech and abilities way beyond any police officer. And if they did try and bring in like the or whatever, he's got like stealth planes, like stealth cars, like
yeah. But the point is,
so it's the point Iron Man. Iron Man's above the law in a weird way. Yeah.
The point is, well, even that, like, so if you look at it, most vigilantes only really get away with it because they've got a lot of money. So it's money that brings
the same
power.
as pedos, isn't it? It's the same as pedos. When we had that conversation behind the, if you want to chat to us behind the scenes, the ones that we know we shouldn't talk about live, but we talked about how rich do you have to be a pedo? Not that we're pedos, and not that we're trying to get rich to be pedos. I'm just highlighting a fact here, yeah. And a pedo, you are getting crucified by the public. But if you're a pedo, you pay someone 10 mil and you're out scot-free.
Yeah, I'd like to have
I'd
like to have the sort of money. I'd like to have the sort of money that would let me do it without actually doing it. Like, I'd like to have that.
No, I wouldn't want to be
peak money. No, I didn't say that. Don't hear me wrong.
Yeah,
no,
I know you.
Jeffrey Epstein has got
stuff that
so
shocks
much
me.
money.
I know you didn't mean that. Yeah. You just got to be careful how you say things.
I'd love to have that level of money, to be fair.
Because the laws don't even apply to people with a lot of money. So a parking fine to someone, like, pay within 14 days and we'll cut the bill by half. So it's like 80 quid fine. I got a ULEZ charge the other day. 80 quid driving my diesel van into London. My fault, didn't check. And I could have paid like £12.50. I got paid 14 days, it would have been 80 quid. And it's just like, I will pay it because 80 quid to me, I need that for my electricity bill that's gone up 3 times or whatever.
Yeah.
And 80 quid, that's like whatever, man. Fucking hell. It's only 80 quid. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I mean, a good example of that is I used to give out tickets. I used to be a ticket warden. And where was it? I remember where it is. So it don't really matter where it was. But in this particular town, when I used to do it for the train station, this particular town, every day I'd go there, there'd be an Aston Martin parked without a ticket. And every day I'd give him an £80 ticket or something. And he used to park right next to the ticket station. But because he had money, he couldn't be asked to just pull it in and pay £5, which is how much it was. Instead, he'd rather a ticket every single day. It's crazy.
Here's one though. It might not even be his car. It might not have been his car. Like, some people literally say like that was his wife and he cheated. This fucking guy pockets every day, and you know, he just didn't know until it was too late. However, you're not wrong. Some people are money. It does not affect them in the slightest. They literally are like, nah, 80 quid for nothing. So, but who, you know what? It's welcome back, Liz. All good.
Yeah, I'm
Me
good,
and Liz
thanks.
have cut out this whole
I'm
episode.
good.
Michael, you are not allowed. You can't leave.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, we were literally just talking on a level there, Liz, about when we talk about behind the scenes, all the stuff we talk about, and talk about on the lives. But like, how rich do you need to be to get away with one being above the law? We're talking about Batman and how like they're so police don't really mess with them. They're allowed to go out and be vigilantes. Like, you can just go out and kick people's ass, absolutely kick the shit out of a criminal, and you get away with it. Really get back in home with a big smile on your face. Like, yeah, just went out last night. You guys, like, what were they doing? Not a lot. Petty crime, but I still fucked them up. You know what I mean? It's just mental, isn't it? But then you got. Do you know what I mean? That's pretty much what he does. And that's like,
the thing is, though, like, if you think about it, like MPs and stuff, they get away with lots of stuff. They got, you know, look at all of what they were doing during lockdown, whereas other people were getting fined left, right, and centre, even though those fines were unenforceable and unlawful. But still, you know, it was like, we can do what we want, but you can't do what we've told you what we're doing. You should be doing. It's like,
it's like a double standards, isn't it?
One rule. Yeah. I think
Yeah, we're just talking about it.
I don't know if it's about if it's even about money. I think it's status as well, isn't it? It's like who you are or who's related to you.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Right, guys.
Corruption.
Nicola, hang on. Yeah, Nicola Michelle Perry has just said hello. She'd only just worked out how to get on it. She said a few comments.
Read them out.
So she said, "Oh my god, I've just figured out where the live is.
Yeah, what's
Love
been
this.
said?
Look forward to more."
Oh, thanks. Come join
Excellent.
us.
Love that.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Then she said, "No, he only gets the because of
In the Discord, could you just chat to us in the Discord? It's great to be on a live and hear these live comments. But honestly, guys, if you want to, join us in our Discord thing. So if you haven't been on Discord yet, it's such a good place for communities to build. Like, if you have anything you want to say, we can like just do it. Just channel. Click the link in the description or the link in the bio. Find us at either Twitter, Instagram, Discord, Facebook. Like we're about basically. And yeah, let us know what you think. Drop us a DM. And if you haven't done so,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in my link.
Hit the like and the subscribe button. Right, Michael's got the episode. Is there any you want to add to the episode tonight?
Nope, I'm good.
No,
nothing at all. You said
it's good that we've got it working. It's good we've got it working.
Yes, I agree.
We're back.
I must remember to charge my
back.
Episode. We're back and forth.
Yeah, very professional.
Professional.
Happy days. All right. Everywhere from me, Liz, and much for listening and watching us here at the Elite Thinking Club. We love you guys, and if you haven't done so already, obviously follow, hit the like, hit the subscribe, tune in for more episodes because we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up, man. It's awesome. So from me, Michael, and Liz, guys, be joining me again. Everyone everywhere,
thank you.
Peace and love.